Hello, lovely ones. So I'm trying a new little experience here, trying to do a video live. Hmm. So I'm not too sure if this is going to be live on the group, on the Gracious Space group or not. I'm just trying it out. And thank you for being willing to experiment with me. It's fabulous. I wanted to speak to you a little bit about some information that I was gathering from quite a few conversations I've been having this morning. And that is, how is the best way to help when there is this lockdown, the shutdown, and this lack of mobility, and we're not able to really go out and do and show up in the world in the same way. We are limited in the way that we can show up and be present in the world with those around us. So how do we do that? How do we stay present with what is going on and still feel like we are contributing to the well-being and the welfare of others, and that we are not just selfishly isolating and insulating ourselves and focusing inward on our own little drama karmas that are going on in our own little capsules of life? How do we do this? So these are some of the thoughts that I would love to share with you. And then please just chat and let me know how you are managing and what your thoughts are, because I think together we can create different ways of showing up and connecting with each other in a way that is more of benefit than the normal way that we do it. And the normal way that we do this is that we jump in our car and we go and we do something, we get a something, we give a something. It's very physical, it's very much the doing, connecting energy. And now we've been asked to stop connecting and to barrier and protect and defend our own space and keep us safe and wear masks and have social distancing. So there is a disconnect now that is in our energy space. That, as we know, and we've spoken about this before, is very much on time. It's a disconnect to reconnect. And we can't reconnect into a new thought and a new idea and a new way of being unless we are prepared to also disconnect from an old system that's no longer serving us. And for those of you who are willing to go through the little bit of the mess up that goes in the mind and the body around disconnect, the possibilities that lie at the end of that, the awareness that we gather by being disconnected, allows us to make a choice of what it is that we would love to connect to. So the disconnect to reconnect is on time, and it will serve us well if we can get what that is. While we are experiencing the discomfort of all of this that is going around, we are having wonderful opportunities to decide what would we choose. What would we choose? And when we make a choice now, we don't want to choose selfishly for my own life and my own benefit. We want to choose for the greater good of all life and for the children who are still coming in. We want to leave an energy imprint, a legacy that is completely different to the one that has been impacting us through eons of time. So disconnect to reconnect is happening, and we are feeling it, and we're feeling it as a restriction that is coming towards us. And many of us are not loving that. It is creating a great sense of agitation and fury and inner rage of having to be compressed and suppressed. On time is that as well. We have had in our history such huge suppression and persecution in all the different ways that we have had to experience this in our evolutionary process as our human being. No wonder we will not tolerate it anymore. We will not tolerate that. And we will not go, yes, that's fine, and just lie back and allow for that. It's not going to happen. But we cannot choose something else unless we know what it is that we want to choose towards. If we don't make the choice cannot be made. We make a choice well informed when we see contrast and conflict, This is when we make really good choices because we say, I don't want this, but I do want that. Now, this is where we are on a tangent right now, right at a pivotal place, because there is this rage and this fury that's coming up, that people say, I will not be contained, I will not be suppressed, and I will not be defined. So that's coming up. It's like a little bubbling that you can starting to feel it in the energy field. It's also on time. It's awakening an energy of drive, an energy of strength, empowerment. That's what's awakening inside of this now. Wonderful, wonderful, absolutely on time. So great that this is happening for us at this point. All right, so that is awakening in us. We'll no longer be suppressed, but if we go into this energy field in the same way that we have been creating the dramas and the wars and the hate and the revenge, if we do the same thing, then we are just repeating the pattern. Then this disconnect energy is not going to work for us. It's just going to make us more angry, and we will revert back to the warring mentality, which is what has brought us to this point of misery. Those who know how to do this, and you are the people I'm speaking to because you know how to do this, we've got to hold a different energy. We've got to learn from what it is that has not worked, and we've got to harness the energy power, our collective energy, in such a way that we start to recreate the way of being in this world without being suppressed, without this persecution and this blanket and weight upon us. Things can happen in the background that we're not aware of, but nothing can happen in the background unless we are feeding it with energy. If we come into a different frequency, that cannot happen. I've said this in other videos where if you imagine it like a radio station and you turn the dial, and on this dial, you have the ability here in the space, when you've turned this dial, to listen to this radio station. And everything that you're listening to is coming from that choice point. But if you turn the dial to a new station, everything that is on that level, that bandwidth, is available to you. And that's what we want to focus on. All right, my lovely. So I'm going to just ask you now just to focus on that first. Focus on that. There is a disconnect. It is asking us to reconnect. We admit that we are feeling a little bit of the suppression, fury energy. It's on time. However, how would we like to use this energy, which is a catalytic energy? It's a very strong vibration. How would we like to use this energy so that we can change into a different station? Please hold that thought and give me your ideas as well, because I know what I'm thinking of, but I'd love to hear what you're thinking of. So much love, my darlings. We're on a great journey, and I'm wishing you love and health and wellness. So much love to you. Namaste.